Hi, it's Mike Stott, looking very relaxed because I'm just back from a 3-week trip to Thailand with my wonderful wife, Donna. It was an amazing experience, highly recommend it, but I have to apologize because I cut this video on January 7th, and when we tried to edit it on the 8th when I was already gone, there was no sound. So I'm recutting it today for you. Hope you have some good lessons from it. The purpose is to use our numbers from 2025 so that we can sort of predict what may be happening in 2026 so we can help our clients make their best real estate decisions. And in that way, we elevate the profession because everybody's making good decisions. Median sales price appreciation, we ended in December at a median price of 505. If we look at what we've done for the last 15 years, we went up 1.66% in value in Cherokee County. Nothing exciting. Inflation was a little bit higher than that. And, we have to look at income growth and everything else for the economists to be happy with us. But the prices went up. They did not drop last year. And I don't think they're going to drop this year either. But the appreciation has wildly slowed down. You can see, from the go-go years of 19% and 16%, we had 5% and 6.8%, and now just 1.66%. Number of sales dropped. We averaged 310 sales basically a month last year, and that's down from a peak of 491 sales in 2020. So a huge drop since 2020. But if we look at the normal years, 2017, 2018, 2019, we are still down significantly. I would hope this year that we bounce back up to be somewhere closer to 400 sales per month. What's disconcerting is if you look back till 2012, we had 13,000 fewer homes in Cherokee County roughly than we do today. And if they sell once every 11 years, that should be another 80 or 90 higher than what we saw back then, and we don't see those numbers. So something's keeping the market down. Could it be interest rates? There we go. Median sales price for those of us visuals that would like to have something to show our clients. We can show that the prices have gone up. If you bought any time in the last 15 years, you've made a lot of money. However, moving forward, I suspect that clients are going to need to stay in their house for 5 or 6 years in order to sell and not lose money. The number of active listings dropped a little last month from 1,264 to 1,074. This is normal at the end of the year because end of the year is when a lot of listings do expire and they get relisted. I cut this video before many of them may be relisted, so expect next month to see the numbers go up fairly dramatically. Active status is on 1/6. We had 1,068 listings active. The median price was $569. Under contract, we had 84 under contract and 199 pending for a total of about 283 properties. Median sales price, since 2/3 of them are $499 and 1/3 of them are $529. If they all closed, we're going to see lower number of sales next month unless there are cash deals there. The price should be a little higher than 505 also, and we closed 312 again last there. For the year, we had 3,882 closings. Median price was right around 455. 209 closed over $1 million. The average days on market was 91. Over 900,000, you can see the number of sales, 800, 700, 600, 500. If you look, the real sweet spot seems to be 3 to 700,000. But look at the days on market. Even the homes under 300,000 are above, they're 6 weeks on the market. And if we get into the higher price range, we're looking at 10 weeks, 12 weeks, even higher. And that's the average days on market. So every home that sells in a week, something else takes a week longer to sell. There were 31 sales or homes for sale under 300,000. 2 were modular homes. 10 were self-identified as fixers-uppers, and 11 were attached housing. Nothing wrong with townhouses. Many of us started in townhouses, and only 8 were move-in ready. In Cherokee County, these stats go through November. This is the Georgia, so the another source that we get. You can go to it by clicking on the link there. It shows some good stats. New listings were up. Townhouses versus houses. The pending sales were down in the single family houses, up in the houses. The median sales price was down. The median and average sales price for townhouses and condos, but up through the year to date in single family houses. So another source, something to see. The numbers I like from this source is what the average list price to sales price was, and we're about 98%, so still very high. Again, visual, looking at just the single family houses, Cherokee County is higher than the rest of Georgia, and the townhouses higher, and we can see a flattening or a slight dip in prices. For rent, when I did this on January 6th, median rental price was $2,200 in the single family, and the townhouses were actually $2,375. Now, many of the townhouse complexes are new, and they advertise 1 or 2 in the multiple listing. So this is not a statistically accurate, but it gives you a feel for what people are renting for. And in order to rent in Cherokee County, you need to make $75,000 to $90,000 to rent a normal house in Cherokee County. Predictions website, I like this. I pulled it out. What are major people saying? Looking at the statistics, you can look at the link, predictions 2026 at tinyurl.com, but I'll go through it quickly. Lawrence Yoon, NAR chief economist, is going to say home price growth will be 2 to 3%. There's going to be less pressure on buyers because there's more homes for sale, and the interest rates look like they're going to drop. The American dream is still alive. Home ownership the desire to own a home has not fallen. Most renters would say if the conditions were right, they would buy a house. And then there's another link there to get in depth. National Association of Home Builders, he says the median real estate home price right now is actually more expensive than the median price of a new home. That's because new homes are offering incentives to get them sold, and they're building them smaller than what resales were. And that's only happened 2 or 3 times over the last few decades. Look at new homes if you have a good buyer out there. There's some really neat product out there. The housing deficit is the major problem, is where, several 100,000 houses short across the country. In Georgia, Cherokee County, we're tens of thousands of houses short. And the trends that they're keeping on is what's happening in Texas and Florida because of some overbuilding and the mortgage rates. Danielle Hale, the Realtor.com chief economist, says that, pricing homes, that people are really sensitive on the price. A price change from $504 to $499 may generate an offer. And sellers are pulling homes off the market, deciding to stay in the home. And it's nothing really to look at. But the index, or what everybody's sort of wondering, is what's going to happen in May when Powell is out of the Federal Reserve. Remember, he's one vote amongst many, but whoever Donald Trump replaces him with is going to have orders to lower the interest rates. So I suspect that the interest rates will come down in June, July, and August. And then once the elections are decided in October, they're going to return to normal. The question is whether the federal government does, as they did in COVID, buy up more mortgages and pay incentives so that the lenders can price them lower. Demographic trends, first-time buyers are coming back, according to Jessica Louds. The baby boomers are still the dominant force, and all cash buyers are still, double-digit percentages of the sales out there. Why? Because people are inheriting money, they're borrowing from their IRAs to buy, and everybody is worried about the mortgage rate. And here's an interesting number. A 1 percentage point drop in mortgage rates means another 5.5 million households, including 1.6 million renters, who could become first time buyers. So now's the time to build relationships with people that are renting and with people that want to buy their first home or trade up or trade down. But 10% typically do. That could translate into 500,000 more sales in 2026. That's the major reason why they expect home sales activity to increase next year. And we're starting to see builders build smaller homes, less expensive homes. So we're starting to see that trend also. So those are just some trends to look at. They were some cool things to think about. And if you agree with me, great. If you disagree, let me know. Mike.stott@mac.com. Next month, I hope to have our new president, Cami Strickland, on with us and bringing her insight and joy and brightness to this video also. But give me a shout out if you have any questions. Happy to share things with you. Again, this is Mike Stott, past president of the Cherokee Association of Realtors.